Achieved with CryEngine.
Okay, hello everyone and welcome to Let's Play Crysis 2, otherwise known as my own personal hell, at least when it comes to the Crysis series. So, as I said at the end of my Crysis 1 playthrough, I would try to get Crysis Warhead working, but that did not really pan out and I couldn't do it no matter how much I fiddled with it, and I don't really want to buy it again. So I figured, well, whatever, we'll just move on. Now, Crysis 2 was originally released in March of 2011 as the sequel to Crysis and Crysis Warhead, the standalone expansion. It was developed by Crytek and published by Electronic Arts, released on Windows, PS3, and Xbox 360. It was the first game of the series to use the CryEngine 3, as well as the first of the series to be released on consoles. While similarly pushing graphical boundaries, Crysis 2 is not nearly as infamous as its predecessor. That is, it did not make anyone's hard drive or graphics card explode or whatever, or catch fire. The ability of then modern gaming consoles to run the game did not bode very well with PC gamers, that being said. And the move was seen as a major dumbing down of the series. Essentially, they took a PC-only game, streamlined it, and made a lot of concessions to it for the sake of making it more accessible to console gamers. However, in doing so, they removed a lot of the open gameplay elements and finer controls in order to conform the game to consoles, i.e., they consoleized it. It doesn't feel as freeform or as expansive as the previous Crysis games. While Crysis 1 was written by Martin Lancaster, Tim Bartlett, and Greg Sargent, a new writer, Richard K. Morgan, was brought in to write the story for Crysis 2. Now, Richard Morgan is probably most well known for the Altered Carbon series of science fiction novels. I have read the first book of that series, although to be honest, I found it to be pretty average, very middle of the road. I was not super duper impressed by it. I mean, it has an interesting premise, but I didn't find it to be very special. Anyway, Crysis 2 Remastered was released in May of 2021 for Windows, Nintendo Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. Much like Crysis 1 Remastered, it was co-developed by Saber Interactive and self-published by Crytek. It remasters the graphics and makes the game run more smoothly on current systems. Now, as usual, I will be playing through this game and trying to get as many of the collectibles I can. Hopefully I will not miss any. Like Crysis 1, I'll be playing this game on the hardest difficulty, and we're going to start a new campaign here. And unlike the previous games, the hardest difficulty is no longer called Elite, it is now called Post-Human Warrior. This isn't a war ordinary humans can win. Yeah, so for whatever reason, I don't know, I guess they just think it sounds cooler or something. Again, this is not to show how much of a badass I am, it's just, I think that the hardest difficulty removes a lot of the gameplay crutches that the lower difficulties have. As I mentioned before, this is not a blind playthrough, since I have played the original Crysis series before the remastered versions came out, and furthermore, I have played the Crysis 2 remastered version just so I can make sure, you know, everything's where it should be, and there's no kinks or surprises or anything like that. And as far as I can know, they haven't really changed any of the gameplay or any of the missions at all in the remastered version. So there's that. Now, additionally, this is probably my least favorite game of the Crysis series, so I might be pretty jaded during this whole playthrough. And on that less than high note, let's get this campaign of pain started. Let the bitching commence. We're going to start off with some stock newsreel footage to set some of the backstory, because it jumps ahead a bit. And I'm going to be playing through the first part of the couple of missions on using live commentary here, just so I can get down some things I want to get out right off the bat. And then, like probably midway through the second mission, I'm going to switch over to post commentary. So you might hear a slight change in audio or whatever, or a funny little jump, but that's just the way it is. Anyway, let's get to it.
And there's a little more about that coming up. So, Gary, who do you like?
Well, I tell you, so far I like what I'm seeing here in New York. They got a pretty strong team as usual. That's in the Eastern, and the Western I'm liking San Francisco, but with Los Angeles as the sleeper.
Okay, so we're looking at a New York, San Francisco in the finals, or possibly LA. You heard it here first, folks. We'll call Gary on it at the end of the season. That's all the sport. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks for the workout.
Thanks, guys. And that's not all we're following. Here's Dan at the help desk.
3 more employees at their Times Square headquarters have been diagnosed with...
Skynet have denied reports of a biochemical leak at their Midtown research unit. Parent company Hargreave Rash were unavailable for comment.
So far, there are 127 laboratory-confirmed cases, but due to the speed of infection,
All transport routes have now been severed as cell
Gasoline threatens to break the dreaded $200.
We need to reinstall trust in our law enforcement agencies.
Where is our military?
Swordfish 3, please confirm your status.
This is Swordfish 3, holding station at Point South 1, periscope depth.
Roger that. Confirming point south 1. Swordfish 3, can you describe any, visible activity at your location?
Negative, Command. No visible activity. This place is like a tomb.
Alright, so we're here aboard USS Nautilus, which is for some reason pinging its way through the Hudson River.
So what's the word? Sit till we get orders to deploy. Kill us some bad guys. Suck it up, Marine.
There's no bad guys up there, Folsom. Keep telling you, this is a strictly humanitarian crisis. Ebola or some such shit. Tell him, Alcatraz.
Alcatraz ain't talking much this morning. Contrary to popular belief, people, tequila is not good for your health. Right, Al? Just nod your head. We'll know you're alive.
Alright, so here we are with the Force Recon team. They may seem important, but they're not.
Come on, man. Show some interest.
Yes, I'm here.
There you go.
Anyway, it's bullshit. You don't call Force Recon for an EMAT evac. They're bad guys up there. I swear. I can feel it.
Get the hell off.
Listen up, Marines. Time to go get this Dr. Gould. Get your asses forward. Get scuba gear on. 10 minutes. Weapons prep.
I told you, you don't take out the Ebola virus with an M16.
Yeah, just don't shoot this Gould, okay?
Man, I heard it was an alien invasion.
Yeah, right. Illegal aliens.
See the jokes they're making.
What the fuck was that?
That's why I joined the Marines. Hoorah, devil dog.
Get out, people! Back up!
Abandoned ship. Repeat. Abandoned ship. Catastrophic hull breach. Control. We are hit. Repeat. We are hit. Abandoned ship.
Alright, so we're playing as a Force Recon Marine that is deploying from a submarine. I guess the development company couldn't pay the Navy enough money to, you know, get him to be a Navy SEAL.
Hatch is under. Gotta dive. It's jammed. Give me some help here.
Yeah, because the Navy SEALs are the most tacticalist dudes ever. They're like the tactical dudes who do tactical stuff.
Nah. Alright. Well, we gotta help him open this door. And of course, like in many games, this submarine is incredibly roomy. Now, that seems weird because, for one thing, I work on a submarine. It's a museum ship, but I mean, it's a submarine. Look how much room is in this thing. Yeah, I mean, even a modern Virginia-class fast attack submarine is not a spacious submarine. So now we're swimming to the surface here. This is our botched deployment. Insertion. Much like the first game.
Chino! Chino! Didn't make it, man. Alcatraz is last out. What happened to these people, man?
Just don't touch them.
If you notice, all these guys have
Hey! Looks like Lady Liberty took some heavy fire!
have nicknames of prisons. So we're Alcatraz, another guy's Chino, another guy's Folsom.
Hey! What the hell? Hostiles!
Something came up beneath us, and we're getting shot up now. Getting ventilated. Taking on water in our main torso, our body cavity. Sheesh, Raptor team had a better insertion than we did, huh? Omega team didn't do very good for Force Recon. That looks like a nanosuit soldier. Which one, though?
Where's my support? Where's the sub?
Sounds like Prophet.
Fucking sub took you all out. That can't be. Gould's counting on us. Alcatraz? That's your name? Alcatraz. Destiny's a bitch, huh? It'll be on you now, son.
Alright, now we get the opening cinematic here. With Hans Zimmer's main theme overlaid on it. It was such a big thing at the time this game came out to have a Hans Zimmer score your game, as well as your movie. And after a while, to be honest though, a lot of his stuff started sounding pretty much the same. Although I do actually like the main theme to this game. One of the few things I actually really enjoy about it. At least Hans Zimmer did a unique main theme to it. Crysis 2 Remastered. Second Chance, Pier A, Battery Park, New York. Well, that's Prophet's body right there, so why are we in the nanosuit?
Alcatraz, this is all I can do. It's all I can do for any of us. You're my last shot here. Gould's last chance. Last chance for all of us. I'm used up. I'm a dead man walking. I'm contaminated. But you can finish this thing. You have to. You have to. Welcome to the future, son. Welcome to the war. Oh yeah, one last wish. It won't let me go that easily. Symbiosis. Gotta break the link. I gave you the suit. Gave you my life. Promise me. Fine, Gould. It's all I can do now. You are all I can do. They used to call me Prophet. Remember me. Locate and protect Nathan Gould. Break the padlock.
Ah, okay, so Prophet basically stripped the suit off of himself, put us in it, and basically sent us on our way. So again, we are technically a Force Recon Marine named Alcatraz, and since all these super high tier 1 elite operators in these games have code names in this game, as I said, they're all named after prisons. Unfortunately, we are the overused silent protagonist, and we don't say a single word in this game. We will find out why that is a bit later on, but in my opinion, that's a misstep on the developer's part. I am so sick of silent protagonists, and the silent protagonist thing only works if it's done well. Unfortunately, this game is not the exception to that. They do not do it very well. So this body on the ground is the last of Major Laurence Prophet Barnes, U.S. Army Delta Force. As you can see, he's wearing like this leotard undersuit here, which would imply that he just stripped the suit off of him. But as we're going to see in Crysis 3, removing the suit, and as he mentioned, symbiosis, is quite difficult. So I don't know why he was able to take his off so easily. Then he just put a bullet in his head, but whatever. Our first collectible is right here. There are various collectibles in this game. Dog tags are one of them. Others are souvenirs, car keys, traffic cameras, things like that, and emails. We're going to pick this one up. We have unlocked a new dog tag. And this weapon is apparently out of battery. There's no ammo in it. So he must have used the very last bullet. Well, this is a lovely picture. So right off the bat, we are thrown into the middle of New York, which is undergoing an epidemic. We need to find Dr. Nathan Gould, who may have some information about this virus that's ravaging the city. As you can see from the bodies here, this virus causes extreme cellular degeneration, and it basically turns people into mushy piles of goo. Lo and behold, all that footage that we saw, that footage from BBS, not the BBC or Fox News or anything like that. Some fictional news broadcasting agency, but yet totally actual, just news footage of other riots and events throughout history, at least prior to when this game was made. Yeah, little did they know that this little thing called COVID-19 would hit, although it doesn't cause symptoms nearly quite so gruesome.
Cobalt 7. We got fresh bodies on the beach here. Couple live ones too, I think. Right. Bring them up. Looks like Marine Special Ops or something. Yeah, Force Recon flashes. Then they're in this. Get them stabilized and find out what they know. Lockhart wants this piece of shit bad.
Okay. Well, of course, in this particular feature of this game universe, Marines wear all kinds of identifying patches and flashes. But in real life, though, Marines generally do not wear unit patches out in the field on their camis, their camouflage uniforms. That's more of an army thing. So yeah, so especially if they're Force Recon, they would not be wearing anything that would identify them. Especially if they're doing this covertly. So no.
This is Dr. Akila Roy, EMAT Crysis Team 1. We're at 5th day now, and we've still made virtually no progress in halting the spread of infection in victims of the Manhattan virus. Antivirals have some temporary effect, most notably Tramara and its generic rivals, but ultimately, the process always resumes. In the end, we can do nothing but watch these people die. And our situation has not been helped by heavy-handed policing from...
Akila, I really don't think you want to get political right now.
No, Jeff, they need to know. I want to go on record here. The cell martial law crackdown has been brutal and disastrous from its inception.
Yeah, big surprise.
These PMC goons have done nothing but spread panic and get in our way from day one. They clearly aren't up to the job, and their brutality has only increased as the situation worsens. And with the whole island sealed off at Commander Lockhart's orders...
Hey, you can't just... Akila!
What the hell do you think you're doing?
Get out of the way, Doc. This is for your own good.
Alright, well, looks like Akila had some problems. That might be Dr. Akila right there. In case you missed it, Manhattan Island is currently under a martial law enforced by Crynet Enforcement and Local Logistics, also known as CEL, a private military corporation who are not known for their kid gloves. In the meantime, they've been having a lot of trouble containing and treating the virus, maybe because it's not terrestrial in origin, as in it's alien. Yeah, Ebola or some shit. Yeah, your Marines are a bit misinformed there. No, it's not Ebola. It is an alien virus. Now, this game has a time jump, 3 years after the events of the previous game. And the story is almost disjointed. I'll talk a little bit more about this later on. One of my big pet peeves of the game, actually. Yeah, because you're going to continuously hear me bitch about the story throughout this playthrough. It's almost as if it has nothing to do with the events of the first game. It's like, what? How does that connect with the first game? What? I don't know. Yeah, it's just not well... The two stories between the first game and this game are not well connected.
Prophet? It's Gould. You read me? Prophet!
Yes, I hear you, but we are not Prophet. We are Alcatraz. Apparently, Dr. Gould has as a private communications line open with us. Looks like this guy in a hazmat suit didn't follow proper procedure for using PPE, huh? Alright, as you can see right here, a lot of the functions of the nanosuit have been streamlined and integrated, so you don't have to activate a separate suit mode to use strength or speed. You just hold down the appropriate button, and you will jump high or kick hard, melee hard, or run faster for the appropriate mode. Now, armor mode and cloak mode are still separated though, and they are activated by hotkeys. just more indications that this game has been adapted for consoles, for better or worse.
Prophet, listen to me. I don't know if you can hear this, but they're coming for you. You have to find those Marines.
Yep, found them. They're dead. So like I said, to activate strength mode, we just hold space and jump. We can now grab up on ledges here. Alright, well, let's head through this door. Yeah, we don't need the door handle to open this door. That's for sissies. One nice thing about the remastered version is that they toned down the really annoying light bloom in this game. It was really prevalent in the games of this era, and it was really annoying to look at that. And Cell are executing the Marines there.
The tactical visor provides increased battlefield awareness. Scan for weapons, equipment, and tactical opportunities. The visor's function allows you to observe safe distance.
Listen, Prophet. Cell are all over downtown looking for you. I'm sending you my coordinates.
Make your way through the
And this is one of my bigger annoyances of this game, is that the suit AI apparently believes that you're blind, deaf, and stupid. It needs to point out the most obvious things like ammo crates and flanking opportunities and all that. These are obvious handholds for console gamers who never played the first game on PC. The problem is that the tactical options are so pointless. They don't give you any major advantage. It's like, no duh, you'd want to restock on ammunition or flank the enemy. Not that flanking matters much because the environments are pretty small compared to the previous game. And we've got our first assault rifle. I'll talk about this in a little bit. Let's take a look at these bodies here, these executed Marines. As you can see on this guy's pouch, he has a Force Recon flash here. But I guess he wasn't swift, silent, and deadly enough to out-tacticalize the Cell, was he, huh? And I also realized that from playing my game previously that I now have all the attachments to all these weapons. So I stick a reflex sight and a silencer on these weapons. Anyway, we're headed up here to Castle Clinton. This is an actual fort in Manhattan. Castle Clinton was actually the first immigration point that predated Ellis Island, the more well-known immigration station in New York. We'll stop here to take a look at the Statue of Liberté. She's had her legs blown off. But, yeah, kind of ironic that the Statue of Liberty is still standing, technically. Even though the city is under martial law, we're being oppressed by the man here. In the game, we're supposed to be a rebel, a freedom fighter, and all that. Ugh.
System override.
What was that?
The stealth meter indicates the level of enemy awareness. Engaged. Code provides temporary invisibility to avoid detection and infiltrate enemy positions. Movement while cloaked rapidly drains energy.
What I want to know is, how come Lockhart's got such a hard-on for this guy? It's not like they always got other things to worry about, right?
Suit's a major bioactive, man. Prophet runs around town in that thing, he is just spreading the virus. Hell, maybe he even triggered this whole outbreak in the first place.
I don't buy it. This shit is personal. See, the way I heard it, Lockhart had a nephew in the nanosuit program and something went wrong. They say this Prophet went crazy and killed a bunch of these nanosuit guys, and Lockhart's nephew was one of them. Prophet fragged him.
Nah, you heard wrong. Lockhart was against the whole nanosuit program right from the get-go. Never trusted it, always said to go back. Lockhart told the Crynet board to can the program years ago. They just
I'd say you called that about right. You know how many of the blue section this prophet took out on his way downtown? Guy's gone completely off the rails. I'm looking for some major payback here. Amen to that.
Alright, well, as you can see from these guys' conversation, there's a lot of rumors and misinformation flowing around about the nanosuit and the virus. The cell operatives are not the most well-informed, shall we say, nor are they the most perceptive. Of course, with all the loud gunfire here, they're clearly a crack team of operators, aren't they? Actually, let's stealth kill this dude. Stick a knife in his throat, yep. And in case you're wondering, I have no ability to use armor mode yet because the game decides when that will be convenient to let us use.
Prophet, listen. I'm outside the evac center. You have to get here. I don't know how long I can hold out.
Yeah, shut up, Gould. I'm working my way towards you. We have our second collectible there, an email. We'll read that a little bit later. We're also introduced to our cover mechanic here. And as you can see from the cover mechanic, when you kneel behind an obstacle, you can press the mouse button to lean over it. Or if you're on a corner, you can lean around the corner. I believe the game Killzone had a similar mechanic. It takes a little while to get used to, and I remember when I first played the game, it felt kind of clunky, but that may be a function of my current peripherals since I originally played the game on a gaming laptop, which didn't have the smoothest keyboard, you might say. Whereas now I'm actually playing the game on real peripherals. The game can also be played with a gamepad, yet another indicator of the concessions made for console gamers, but I'm from the PC master race and all that. Anyway, the weapon we are currently holding is the Scarab, the most common assault rifle you're going to find in the game, and of course the most tactical weapon ever. It's the carbine variant of the Scar we used in the previous game. The Scar rifle still exists, but we won't encounter it for another mission or two. The former Crysis website actually has this to say about this weapon. Introduced in 2018 and manufactured by US-based Scrunch Industries, the Scarab is a more compact, flat-top carbine variant of the Scar assault rifle, utilizing advanced rifle cartridges that are smaller than the previous 5.56mm rounds. The Scarab offers increased ammunition storage per magazine with zero impact on combat effectiveness. The Scarab differs from the Scar with its shorter barrel, which optimizes the weapon for close quarters combat, and a higher cyclic rate of 900 rounds per minute compared to 700 per minute on the Scar. Part of this pure combat assault rifle weapon family, comprising the Scarab, the larger Scar assault rifle, and the Scare sniper variant, the weapon is mainly used by US Special Forces. Recently, the Scarab has also seen extensive deployment in the police and private sector. It is a valuable alternative to submachine guns, offering a compact design without sacrificing firepower. The weapon can mount a variety of attachments, including a suppressor, underbarrel shotgun, and combat scopes, making it excel at close quarters combat while offering the versatility to adapt to new combat situations on the fly. Ain't that a great advertising pitch? So unlike in Crysis 1, the Scar family has downsized the ammo it fires from 6.8 to 4mm Sabo Scar. The Scarab is the only assault rifle in the game that can mount a suppressor. It allows the weapon to be fired while cloaked, and it'll drain about 40% of the suit's energy, so as long as you have full suit energy, it won't completely drain and drop you out of cloak. However, it cannot mount the assault scope or sniper scope.
Prophet, Cell are all over the place. I've got to bail. I'll meet you back at the lab. Hurry!
We can use the decon shower here. Wash the nastiness off of us. By the way, I should say that the pistol we are carrying is the M12 Nova. the most tactical weapon ever. It's essentially the pistol from the first Crysis game. It uses the same model, but it's chambered in a different round, in 9mm parabellum, not 4.6mm. The manufacturer's name has also been changed to Bauer and Kopka, versus in the previous game it was just manufactured by B. Bauer.
That's an odd question if you don't live in California, but you'd be wrong. Increased seismic activity over the last 3 years is a statistical fact across the continental United States, and it's affecting areas previously thought safe from any serious earthquake threat. From New York State, Michelle Sikorsky has this.
Yes, Derek, for decades now, the people of New York State have lived easy in the knowledge that they're thousands of miles from the nearest dangerous fault zone. But in fact, New York is among the 2 or 3 most seismically active states in the eastern USA. There have been literally hundreds of minor tremors over the history of the state, and 1 or 2 big ones too. Now, with modern building codes, quakes such as these would not normally be cause for much concern. But here in Albany, Cornell seismologist Jim Durney is advising the state legislature that all this may be about to change. So, Jim, you've been measuring some pretty substantial tremors, is that right?
Yes, that's right, Michelle. Over the last 3 years or so, we've seen a substantial rise in the frequency of small seismic events across the state. At first, it looked as if this was in line with similar activity elsewhere around the globe. But there's been a sudden spike in both frequency and intensity over the last few days, and frankly, we're at a loss to explain what's causing it.
Well, as the radio said, they brought in all the experts to provide your talking head commentary. They're anticipating seismic activity, and recall from the first game that the aliens would burrow underground and cause tremors, so we've got quakes to look forward to. Funny enough, this whole thing is controlled by a laptop.
Attempting system restart. Pre-purge active. Pre-purge complete. Stand by. Magnetic seals released. Warning. Foreign contaminant detected. Automatic system shutdown commencing.
Force open security doors.
Well, the shutdown did not stop the doors from cracking open just a pinch, just enough for us to use force to pry them open with our hands. Alright, welcome to Manhattan proper. Persona non grata. That means an unwelcome person. And we got some alien ship flying overhead.
Listen, something pretty massive just happened to the suit link. Whole thing went down. I think it's back now, but you better get here fast. Everything's falling apart. Infected all over the place. Poor bastards. That cellar out on the Cull. Plus the Zephyr's starting to show up too. Look, stick to the subways. It's gotta be safer than the streets. Hope you brought those Marines.
No, we're not bringing the Marines, but we are one of the few good men. And here is our next collectible. This statue collectible souvenir. Yeah, so we had a totally non-scripted event there where the game intentionally exploded that gas canister right next to you just to show you that the armor works. This weapon seems to have disappeared right at my feet. This is the feline. And we'll get a look at some of the cell uniforms. The standard cell trooper here uses the black and white uniforms. And this guy right here in the black with the blue piping is a cell squad leader, or a team leader. Now this feline here is a European manufactured submachine gun with high capacity magazine and a rate of fire of 1200 RPM.
Rather be out there fighting the Ceph? Beats cleaning up this mess. Tell that to Maroon section. The Ceph wiped out half their squad at Greenwich Village. He's right. We got it easy down here. We got fucking chaos, man. Oh, it's easy? These are people, man. They ain't people no more. They're a biohazard. Alright, enough of this shit. Lancaster, check the intersection. Hicks, we'll take the diner. Roger that.
Alright, well we have our bonus task for this mission. We wait for this guy to walk over here, and we'll drop the big old donut on him. Some food for thought. Anyway, as I was saying, the feline is manufactured by British weapons specialists Lank and Linder. Introduced in 2019, primarily for specialist law enforcement and armed forces. As of 2023, the feline is still considered best of class, lauded for its dominating rate of fire and compact ergonomic bullpup design. It utilizes next-generation 4.7mm pistol ammunition, shrinking overall bullet size and increasing magazine capacity with no discernible impact on stopping power. In addition to its compact design, the feline can mount a number of attachments, including laser pointers, a reflex sight, to enhance combat accuracy and range. We also just picked up grenades, as you saw, but we have to actually equip them before we can use them, unlike in Crysis 1. Now, in case you're wondering what the Ceph are, that's the actual name for the aliens from the first game. Yeah. Like I said, the story is just so disjointed and poorly connected between Crysis 1 and 2. Like, very little is adequately explained, and you really have to make some serious leaps in logic. So, yeah. So, the city is under control of the Cell, who have instituted martial law, and the Ceph are the aliens. We'll see more of them as the game progresses, obviously, and we'll find that they've undergone quite a number of changes. Ooh, chucked a grenade at me. I'm not a huge fan of the feline here. It fires really fast and puts a lot of lead downrange, but again, it's a submachine gun. It's using pistol caliber ammunition. Toss some grenades up there. Maybe deal with that dude. Yeah, I'm gonna pick up a Scarab again. The Scarab is decent. It's kind of your all-around standard assault rifle until you get some more powerful stuff late in the game. I will also say that the general shooting mechanics, and as well as the weapon sound effects in this game, do sound better than Crysis 1. They sound more powerful. It does feel a lot smoother going into iron sights when you bring the weapon up to your shoulder and look down the sights. Weapons also have more inertia to them, so it feels like he's actually handling them. And you do have to remember to actually put your suit in armor mode, otherwise you will get killed pretty quickly, especially playing on post-human warrior difficulty. Boy, these cell guys can take a lot of bullets.
Other news coming up. Does accepting free healthcare make you un-American? A new social study from scientists in North Carolina says yes. And the Alaska secessionists who were shot last week during a protest. Did they deserve it? Stay with us. See you after the break.
Oh, they absolutely deserve to get shot. And of course, Cell is worth it. Their cost effectiveness more than makes up for their brutality. And I, for one, am willing to sacrifice my constitutional rights if it means oppressing the citizens of this country, all in the name of freedom. Yeah, no contradictions there. Well, we can head over here. Oh, we got some guys there. We'll go behind the Freedom Bus here, ambush them from there, huh? Alrighty, we head down to the subway here. And oh, actually, I forgot one thing. We missed one of our collectibles. It was back at that intersection where the donut was. We can get to it over the wall here. Because our last collectible in this mission is this traffic camera right here. You need to sprint towards it and it'll give you a speeding ticket. There we go. Alright, now let's head down into the subway. Our tactical option there is to exit. These people are still alive.
Prophet, maybe the subway wasn't the best idea. I'm
now you
reading
tell
dozens
me.
of heat signatures right underneath you. Watch your step down there.
Nanovision enabled.
So the nanosuit no longer has night vision. Instead, it has nanovision, the most tactical of visions. Basically, it's a thermographic vision. Someone left the water run in here in this bathroom.
Do not believe the media bullshit, people. There is some weird shit going down in this city, and those jackboot assholes on the corner with their little cell logo and their PMC paychecks signed off by taxpayers like you and me are not here to help. They're here to put that jackboot in. This ain't America anymore. This is the United States and knuckle under like the man says, or else. This is Radio Free Manhattan, guerrilla broadcast round the clock, telling it like it is and speaking truth to power. Right on!
Yeah, you go, brother. Be prepared for lots of angsty, melodramatic voice work in this game, because that's what passes for voice acting. It's like if Al Pacino did the voice acting.
It's a nest! Get out of there,
Hooah! Yeah, shoot these little Seth bug thingies.
Terrorist, man. Gotta be. Some African jungle shit. Ebola or something. They be spraying it from a plane. Look at me, man. Look at me!
It's not Ebola, buddy. It's something far worse.
This is Commander Lockhart to all cell personnel. Despite all medical attempts to reverse the effects of the cellular breakdown in the infected, we have found no viable cure. Evacuation is no longer an option. A shoot-to-kill discretion is now vested citywide, to be exercised upon any suspicion of infection. Further to this, nanosuit subject, Prophet, is also designated as an active biohazard. Prophet is to be shot on sight.
Warning. Incoming alien threat.